Good morning, my good people. How are you all this grand rising of a morning? I've been up just thinking and doing my daily prayer and just got a lot on my mind. And anyway, today is a day. Yeah. So I just want to talk to y'all with some real talk. Y'all know how I do. I just want to talk to y'all about who do people think they are and what gives them the right. We all grieve differently. We all mourn differently. However, a person mourns or grieves, as long as it's not hurting someone else or themselves, that is their business. Who is anyone to tell anyone what to do? People have vast way of grieving. Some shut themselves in, they don't come around. Others may talk. Others may cry. Others may do both. Others may just want to keep going through their things. Some want to go lay on a person's bed and sleep in their bed and wrap themselves in their garments and their clothes. Others want to lock over someone's hair. You know, whatever. Who are you? Who am I to tell anyone how to grieve, no matter what your opinion is? And especially if you're not a brother, a sister, a mother, and especially if you're like an in-law. Who are you and what gives you the right? No one should be shorted of how they grieve. No one should be shorted of their process. It doesn't matter if you understand it. It's not for you to understand because it's not your hurt. It's not your emptiness. It's not your memories. It's not your position. It is not your person to be all in extremes about. Why do people think they have that right? But then you have some people who have always thought they were so important, always trying to be bougie or better than others, and always being a gossiper and a backbiter and always finding fault and negative things to say about somebody else because deep down inside, self-love has just not been their priority. And sometimes when things happen, it spills out. And then people can really see who you really are. No one has that right to say, to do, to offend, to cause scenes, to be an embarrassment because you might not understand someone else's process. That's not your place. That's not your business. Some people have to stay in their lane or have several sectionals. Now sit your behind on some sectionals. Sit down and be humble. We don't have the right to tell anyone how to do anything. Some people close their loved one's room off and barricade it to where nobody can ever get back in there. Some of them will never go through their stuff for the next 20 years. You cannot tell anyone, nor do you have the right to tell anyone anything about how they grieve. We don't have that right. We know that one thing people do more now than ever is they take pictures of their loved ones for whatever healing purposes that may bring. Sometimes the people who are uneducated and don't get the psychological things that people do and the ways that people go through the things they go through to get to the next level of healing or grieving, they don't get it. And it's okay, but it's not okay when you're trying to infringe on somebody's healing process because you don't understand it. If someone takes a picture of their loved one, so what? If your opinion is it's morbid, so what? If you think that's weird and strange and wild, so what? Who cares what your process is? It's not in your phone. It's not something that's going to be in your face. It has nothing directly to do with you. So why are you so belligerent and ignorant and embarrassing? Why? It's just certain things we have to learn how to do and allow people to do. You don't know if people was homicidal or suicidal. And baby, just because some people think they large, that's the harder your behind will fall. That's not your place. That's not your place. That's not your place to tell somebody. And especially it's not your place when it's somebody's sibling and somebody's child. And you ain't birthed or had not a goddamn thing to do with it. If you ain't birthed them, you ain't directly in a bloodline, so what? Why do your opinion even matter? Yes, they may love you. Yes, they may care about you, but you have nothing. You have no idea. None. You have no idea whatever process it takes them to heal however they need to heal. Sometimes, most times, if you look it up and you really ask, most people do it so they can have the disconnection. Meaning, they have to really, to get through the healing, they have to really refer back to say this really is real. And I have to. Everybody isn't like that. Everybody's brains, they're not connected the same. They're not wired the same. It doesn't make their brain incorrectly wired or them morbid or them sick or twisted because this is what they need to do to heal. That is their business. What does it have to do with you on whatever a mother wants, a sister wants, a brother wants? What does that have to do with you when they have changed their behind, raised them, took care of them, birthed them? Who are you? Or why do people think that they have a right to try to throw around their bullyism? And it's sad to know that we still have adult bullies out here that think that they can just bully people and been bullying people most of their life or trying. And so what? Who cares what you understand about somebody else's healing and grieving process? You don't have to live with them, in them, and understand what it takes. People can be, hear me closely, when stuff happens to loved ones, and no matter what form, the loss is very great. And you don't know if that person is homicidal. Hear me again. You don't know if that person is homicidal or suicidal. And then to make bullying threats of harming someone because they want to grieve or get through the process, whatever they want to, if they took the picture, whatever they did, and you mad and you want to harm them for something that they did for their sister, their brother, their child, something wrong with you. Who crazy? Who morbid? Because for that to even be an issue on your mind at such a time, violence, because of something that somebody directly in their bloodline did, well, who are you? That speaks volumes of you and your character. And you really the one looking crazy, not the person taking the picture, because people do this all the time. This is nothing new under the sun. It's been going on for the last 25 years. So what? When you have your time with your loved ones, your siblings, your parent, your whoever, your children, you do what you want because that's your right. If you want to lay out and fall out and get in the casket, people do that too because they're hurting. However their process is, their acceptance, or how they cannot accept it, that is not your right or your place to put your 2 cents in, especially and be belligerent, embarrassing, and just ignorant. I'm livid about anything like that. And I'm livid about that type of situation. Period. Wish somebody would. It's a terrible, inconsiderate thing to feel like you have a right over a parent. And you ain't got nothing to do with the birthing of the life of the lost. You have nothing to do with it. You ain't stayed in no amount of labor with this person. You ain't did nothing. However, the parent, that's their child. You ain't nothing but an in-law. That's their child. How do you think you have the right to tell somebody how to mourn or how to grieve or how they should do it? You out of pocket and you out of line, and you definitely quit standing in the place of God. Get yourself in alignment, baby, and sit down and have several sectionals. So sometimes when some things happen and you question why ways weren't made and things weren't done, I could look at today and say things weren't made and Ways were made for a reason. Oh, my. For a reason. For a reason. Mean that from the pits of my soul. Ways was not made for a reason. Some places you strategically are not allowed to be, and that is for a divine purpose. And that is a divine purpose. So, hearts are broken today. Spirits are broken. People's spirits have been broken because of people's persuasion and opinion that keeps others trapped and bound. And anybody who can't stand for you in leadership that's over you, that will side with someone else due to friendship instead of facts, you need to not be around them. If they are your boss, you need to ask if you can and possible to be moved to another place. If it's your pastor, you need to find you another church. Period. Because anyone who can't stand in support of you, not friendships, not still always trying to be in the in crowd, not always feeling like I have to be this person, but anybody who can't stand on their own 2 feet and say, hey, look, you don't do this here. I understand your concern. I understand your feelings. At the end of the day, this is not how you do it. That's not order or protocol of my house. But obviously, if it is, and that means that's the protocol of mess in your house. So you have to be careful of who you let see over your soul, because at your time, your weakness, the time of your most saddest, the time of your bereavement, and somebody that is your leader cannot stand with you instead of against you, they ain't for you. And they definitely don't need to be a watchman over your soul. Now, if a person can come to them and persuade them, and you've been a member paying your tithes, being faithful, being a good member, a helping member, and they can let somebody off the street, I don't care if you know them 1,000 years, tell them something, and they don't come to check on their member, who they should know, who they should have been laboring with, who knows the love that you have for your deceased or your lost loved one, and they take it upon themselves to go on the side of somebody else just based upon lifetime friendships or partnerships or whatever they got going on, they ain't a watchman over your soul. Because the facts of the matter should have been this: I understand your concern. This is not, number one, how we gonna do things in the house. And the next thing should have been, I understand your opinion, but at the end of the day, baby, this is their sibling. This is this woman's child. So no matter what you think they're wrong about, that's not your place. That's not your place, because those are facts. This ain't opinion. That's not opinion. That's facts. The facts is you are on another side. It could be child-in-law or in love, however they say it today. But the main point is, baby, this is these people's direct birthed bloodline, and you have your opinion. Shh, calm that down. You put that over there. Go deal with that alone by yourself. And they gonna do what they need to do, because this is this woman's child, and this is this woman's sibling, and this is what they need to do for them. You might not understand, and it's okay. You don't have to understand everything. You grieve how you gonna grieve, sweetheart, but don't do that. We're not going to get all loud and boisterous and belligerent in the house. This is not what we do. This is not protocol in my house. Maybe y'all could talk about it after. You don't get involved in the mess. That's why I am who I am and like I am, and don't have no cares of who like it or don't like it, who love it or don't love it, because you know what? I love me. And there is no in between. You either love me or don't, and I don't care. Because one thing about me, I will go when it's my time to cross over. They'll say one thing about her is she told the truth, and she told you like it was, and didn't have no qualms about it, and didn't have no love lost, and didn't carry hatred towards you in her heart. She might have failed back, but she still had love for you. But she wasn't gonna deal with no foolishness, and that there is foolishness. And that's not the type of foolishness that confound the wise. That's just plain out ignorant, belligerent foolishness. Who do you think you are? And why do you think you have the right? You don't. You don't have the right at all to tell anyone how to grieve their loved one. Stay in your place. And know what? What I love about life is you're going to go through the same thing. And what I love about it is you'll probably be up there doing the same thing. Why? Because after it happens to you and your heart is shattered and crushed, you'll get it. But some people, it takes tragedy to happen or them to have the same experience of loss that you've had for them to understand, wow, I get it now. But by then you said everything. By then you've done everything. By then you've bullied your way out of everything. By then you've already hurt feelings and crossed lines. And so you're standing there looking simple when it's your day. Left, right to centered, simple. So I just say to everyone today, mourning, grieving a loved one, putting a loved one to rest today, laying everyone down, just doing what they need to do, I say to you guys with all my heart and my spirit, however you need to grieve, grieve. However you need to mourn, mourn. Whatever you need to do to get healthy, to get through it, as long as you ain't taking somebody else's life and causing you to be in a more grievous state. So, if you need to pull off your clothes and lay in the middle of the floor and rent your garments, as the scriptures call it, and scream to the top of your lungs, do it, baby. If you in the middle of Walmart and you rolling your buggy down and you seen one item that just reminded you of that loved one and you break down to your knees in Walmart, do it. If that's going to get you to the next moment, to continue to want to live without that person, to give you the strength to just make it, you do it. Nobody has the right to tell you. You ain't bothering nobody in that aisle. You on your own knees crying. Nobody no need to know. And if they come around and they ain't trying to help you, don't worry about it. You do what you need to do to get through their next moment. If you feel like you need to get a lock of their hair, then you tell them, cut a piece of my baby's hair and put it in a nice little something for me so that I could keep it. If you need to take pictures of your loved one laid out and dressed to help you separate the reality from the death, then you do it. You do it. If you got to go back and look at them pictures every now and then to just say you was beautiful when you left, you was beautiful when you was alive, you do it. Nobody has the right to tell you who do they think they are to tell you how you need to grieve. If you need to barricade the room off and never let nobody else in and you don't go in there for the next 10 or 20 years, you do it. Whatever you need to do to cope. Whatever you need to do to try to separate the life and the death from the reality. Some people can't accept it. Their mind cannot fathom it. Their mind cannot grasp it because they finally realize that this person is not coming back. And that's when death becomes very real. That this person I've spent a lifetime with for me, I will not be able to do it again in this form. That reality, I've had it in about 2009 and 10. So that reality is so powerful. That reality is so strong. That reality is so astounding to your mind and your spirit that you have no choice but to find something to help you cope, and long as it's something healthy. And even if you got off the band and you fell upon some things unhealthy, baby, please today get back on it, because you don't want to be in a worse grievous state than you already are because of the loss. And now you're losing you. So I say this, do what you need to do for you. Nobody has that right. Who do they think they are? They ain't nothing but a big old grieving bully. And nobody has time for that. Have several sectionals. You people who are like that, you don't have the right to tell anybody anything. Sit down and shut your mouth. You didn't birth nobody. And if they ain't bothering nobody, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? That's their direct bloodline. Their direct bloodline. Direct bloodline. I need to repeat that. That's the whole thing. Direct bloodline. You have absolutely really nothing at all to do Only people's spouses, children, and the blood direct line. If they weren't abandoned or estranged from their family for hundreds of years, and your family took over them because, their family was estranged, and it ain't nothing like that. So you don't have a place. Sit down. Please sit down. Because somebody going to end up sitting you down. And I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. You don't know if people are homicidal or suicidal at the time of their loss. Leave people alone. Your opinion does not matter at that point. Take it and talk about it to somebody else and vent to them about how you didn't like it. It still ain't your business and your point of place to talk about it and be belligerent and ignorant about anything and embarrassing to no one about how they want to grieve, how they need to grieve. You don't have that right. Whatever you need to do, if you need to go in your car and take long drives every night for the next 6 months, do it. If you get in the shower and end up being so weak because of the memory and the pain that you end up falling down, not falling down, hurting yourself, but just sliding down in the shower and letting it just wash you, giving you a cleansing. And you just cry in that shower, laid in the tub, just bawling as a cleansing, do it. If you need to wrap yourself in their garments, find the last thing they wore and wrap yourself in it and smell their fragrance, do it. Because the one thing about it is your love for them surpasses death. Your love for them surpasses time. And because of that love, it's going to hurt for a while. And nobody has the right to tell you when to stop hurting. You need to get over it. You still crying about them. You still hurt. They been dead 1 month. They been dead 2 years. They been dead 5 years. They been dead. Baby, shut up. However you do, that's you. If you able to bounce back over that, that's a blessing. But everybody not able. And you're not going to make me feel bad of my humanism. You're not going to make me feel bad because I loved like that. You're not going to make me feel bad because of how I love hard. You're not going to make me feel bad because I have emotions and feelings that I'm in tune with, and I'm okay with being emotionally in tune to me and who I am, because you may not be. Because that's not your thing. That's not your niche. That's your business. You are you. I am me. I live in me. You live in you. You live where you at and do how you do, and I'm going to be where I am and leave me alone. You do not have that right. Who do you think that you are, big old bully? Always been a big old bully. Why? Somebody, see, that's the stuff right there. Somebody is not going to be happy when it's their turn. Well, let's see how they do. Because you can't do that. Because when you act like that and you put that type of judgmental spirit, especially when somebody hurting and somebody's soul is good and somebody's emotions and spirit is pure, and when somebody is in tune to their creator like that, you really setting yourself up for something that you ain't ready for. I promise you, you are. And everybody who joined your team with the foolishness, they getting ready to be set up for something. And I'm telling you that you are. I'm going to tell you what I've known, what I know. What I've known and what I know. What I've known and what I know. You're setting yourself up for something. And we're going to see we're going to sit back and watch how you react. And how you grieve. And how you mourn. So you might be trying to be the one to get in the casket, but somebody say, get up out that casket. You just foolish. Why you got to do all that? You're just extra. Boo-boo, you just extra. You're going to be like, this is my baby. This is my mother. This is my sister. This is my brother. You don't tell me how to mourn. You don't tell me. You're going to be having a whole attitude. And then you're going to have to remember how you did somebody else at their time of one of their grandest loss. So chew on it. Eat on it for y'all big old bullies. Grown adult bullies. Grown adult 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus year old bullies. Bullies. Sit down. Your day coming, boo. And then you can do whatever you want. You can fall out. You can take pictures. You can do whatever. And we going to see how people going to react to you. Because it's coming back around. And it's going to hit harder than what you just hit somebody else. Well, I'm telling you what I've known. And I'm telling you what I know. It's a real thing. Grieving is a real thing. Taking the pictures of a loved one is a real thing. Trying to get in that casket with that loved one is a real thing. Barricading yourself in is a real thing. Barricading off that room is a real thing. Not going through people's stuff for years at a time is a real thing. You want to wrap yourself in people's garments and stuff and smell them and just cry is a real thing. You don't tell nobody how they do their real thing. Let people grieve in peace. You do not. Do you hear me? Nobody has the right. Who do you think you are to tell anyone how to grieve and how to do their process and whatever helps them get through their process to separate their reality from the current situation? Sit down and be humble. Today's the day. And I just want to say, praying for everyone involved in any situation like this. Remember, I just had to have this real talk from my soul because it's burning me up. And it's burning me up that I can't be in the presence as it is. But to hear the type of foolishness, I wasn't supposed to be. I wasn't supposed to be. Wasn't supposed to be. Cause that would have turned. That right there has just been a whole nother thing. So I just want to say to everyone going through, do what you need to do for you. You live in you. Nobody else gonna lay up with you. That person ain't coming with you to wipe your tears. That person ain't coming to lay up with you and hold you and console you. They obviously only care about them and how they grieve and how they feel and how their people feel, and they don't care nothing about you. Because people who care about you, that wouldn't even have been on their mind. They would have had a common sense enough and not been retarded acting and said, well, that's just how they got to do it. I ain't into that. I don't like all that. I don't want to see that. I ain't in agreement with that, but that's them. That's whatever that's because that's their business and it ain't yours. And that's what you should have been saying. It's not mine. I don't, Nobody should have been jumping on bandwagons and having a whole lot to agree on and say somebody's right and the other person is wrong. Nobody's right in that situation at all. You or them. The people who needed to do what they needed to do in the process was 100, 1,000 over % in the right. You ain't got nothing to do with that. Please sit down. And the one judge, I can't think of his name, he said, well, everybody please shut up. And that's what you really want to tell people when you all don't even have an understanding, a fundamental understanding of what's going on. Simon Cowell, that's what I'm talking about. Well, everybody please shut up. Because sit down. But y'all, I'm all kind of emotional right now, and all I'm going to say is, remember, I am always praying for you. Always praying for you, boo. But I had to have this real talk, because people are always trying to be penny slick and nickel sharp. But your day coming, baby. Always bet on that. Respectfully, Monty.